Reviews, the good, the bad, the ugly. Today we're going to be talking all about reviews on your business. So whether it's on Google or whether it's on Facebook, we've all been there, and I feel like it's something that can start to control the way that we run our businesses and the way that we respond to people, because it can be really scary when you feel like something's heading towards you getting a bad review. I've been there myself, and it can also affect you enforcing your policies. So that's what we're going to talk about today in Banter with Baciami. We're going to talk about reviews. The reason that I want to talk about this is because it's something that I experienced recently, and I put a post up on our Instagram the other day, and a lot of you have felt the same. So I was like, this is really important that we talk about it. Now, when I think about reviews, I think about people reacting emotionally to the service that they've had with you as to whether they leave a review or not, whether it's good or whether it's negative. The funny thing about this is when I started to really dive deep into thinking about it, is that I noticed, and I started to research a lot of businesses and have a look at their reviews, is that they either have 5-star reviews or they have 1-star reviews. It's very rare that something is left in between. And I think that comes down to the fact that when we leave a review, we leave it emotionally. It reminds me of, so for instance, when you get like a 1-star review, it reminds me of when sometimes you say to somebody, what it can do is, no, I don't want to do this or whatever, and they saying, well, if you, like a friend, for instance, well, if you don't, then I'm going to go and tell such and such, rah, rah, rah. And it's like a reaction of, if you don't give me what I want, then I'm going to go and I'm going to do this thing. And a lot of the times when I'm reading reviews, it comes down to the fact that the customer didn't ideally get what they were wanting or what they were demanding. Now, some of the times the customer is in the right, and a lot of the times when I'm reading these reviews and I'm reading the responses, it's like the customer has lashed out emotionally because they're upset that they didn't get what they want, and they've gone on a vengeance kind of streak, and they have decided to go and put a 1-star review on your business. Now, I know me personally, I've found sometimes I have let my policies slide a little bit because I've been scared that someone's going to go and leave a negative review. And this is really damaging, not just to your business, but to you emotionally as a person and as a business owner, because it's pretty much the same thing as being bullied. It's like, literally, like I said, when you're in school and someone's like, well, if you don't do this thing, I'm going to go and tell the teacher, or I'm going to go tell your mom, or I'm going to go do this thing. And it's basically what's happening in our businesses. If you don't give me a refund, I'm going to go and leave a bad review. And people are actually threatening this in emails, and they're threatening this in messages, which is technically a form of bullying. So I don't agree with it. And I think that it's affecting us all quite a lot. Some of the times, like I said, the customer is definitely in the right. You might have had a really bad service somewhere, and you want to let other people know. And generally, I'll leave if I've had a really negative experience somewhere. Most of the time I don't leave a review because I know what it does to the business. I'd rather just reach out to the owner and let them know. But why are we not leaving 2 or 3 or 4-star reviews? Because I'm sure it wasn't horrific. Like a 1-star review should literally be because you've experienced like the most horrific service and situation of your life at that business. 1-star is so low in the scale of what you can review that when I'm going through and I'm reading people's reviews that are 1-star, they're definitely not a horrific situation. They definitely don't deserve to have a 1-star. And the problem with a 1-star review is that it brings your rating right down, rather than if you just had a 3 or a 4-star. You might have done a few things right, but then you also didn't do maybe 1 or 2 things right. And I think that, that's maybe more deserving of a 3 or 4-star. So I guess the thing is, how do we handle this? For a long time, I felt like I had to give in to the customer. I felt like I was literally bullied into giving something that was unfair to me and my business to the customer, whether it be a refund because the customer maybe wasn't happy with something, however, it's what they chose, like for instance, getting their hair done. For an example, I'm going to give you an example of one of our bad star reviews on Google. We've got 1 at the moment. And when this happened, it's obviously I can put myself in your shoes because you're reading it and you're going, is this person serious? So what happened with us was that during COVID, we were selling our online course for $99, literally because we got shut down trading, we couldn't trade, I had bills to pay, I still had an enormous amount of rent to pay, as you guys can completely relate to. So we did a really, really discounted special, like a $1,500 discount for our online course to be $99, and you would get 3 months enrollment into the online course to do during COVID. It was what I thought was a great offer because people were at home and they couldn't do anything else, so they could study. And obviously we discounted it because people weren't making money either, and it just really helped us to get by. So we did the $99 special. It was 3 months enrollment. It was really, really laid out for the customer to see. We still had all the customer service going on and whatnot. Anyway, a customer bought the course during COVID for $99, and I don't know if they ended up completing the course or whatnot. We never really heard from them again. We sold quite a lot of them, so we do like to check in with our students, but sometimes we don't check in multiple times unless we hear back. So about a year later, this was literally a year later, might even be further along than a year, this customer was like, hey, I can't get into my course. And we explained that it was because we did the $99 special for 3 months and it had expired, and that she would have to re-enroll if she wanted to do the course again. We also offered her a discounted price because of the fact that she'd previously bought it. We really sympathised with her and we tried to do the best thing possible. And of course we got abused and bullied and threatened about bad reviews. We got threatened about putting PayPal action in, which she did do, which we have all the messages for, and we actually won. But this was one of those instances where I was like, are you kidding me? Like, you haven't even opened. She actually told us she hadn't even started the course. So you bought the course a year ago. You paid $99 for it, down from like $1,500. And it's a year later and now you're like, hey, I bought that course. Maybe I'll start that now. And then, we did explain that we outlined our complete policy. It was outlined at the time that she bought it. And then she did go through with leaving a bad review and contacting PayPal. And there's nothing we could do about that. What we could have done and what I could have done as a business owner is felt pressured and pushed over to enroll her for free again into the $99 course, which is now back to $1,500. But I was like, you know what? No, we did everything right, and I'm not going to be bullied into doing that. So we just copped the bad review, and this is where I sort of started to begin to not stress so much about getting the bad reviews and more focus on what my response would be to those reviews. I think the thing that you really want to avoid doing is responding emotionally to an emotional review to start with, because it really shows when you're reading it. And this is your chance to prove yourself as a business owner and to prove to everyone else how you react in certain situations and how you do talk to your customers, especially in these situations. So once I sort of started stopping freaking out about getting those reviews to start with, I started focusing on obviously asking the people that are loving our service to leave good reviews and responding to them so that people can see again how we respond to both reviews and how we interact with our customers, and just not being scared of those reviews anymore. I think it says more about the customer than it says about you, and I think people are starting to switch on to that these days. I know it can be really, really scary, and I know that we all want to aim to have that 5-star review status and that we've never had a bad review. But another thing that it says to me about a business is that if you don't just have all 5-star reviews, is that you're backing yourself as a business and you're standing by your policies, and that's a good thing. If you've only got 5-star reviews, you might just be amazing and no one's ever been unhappy with your service, and that is great, fantastic, well done. If you have negative reviews, chances are it means that you're backing yourself, you're standing up for yourself, and you're not getting bullied and you're not getting pushed over. And it probably also means that you're growing to the point where it's not just you and your business anymore, dealing with people and interacting with people, that it could be that you've grown and you've got staff members and you've got a bigger business now that you can't have total control over all the time. And that's not a bad thing either. Once you start branching out and getting staff members and a team built up around you, you no longer have that 100% control, and you have to be okay with allowing people to be upset sometimes. People aren't always going to love your policies. People aren't always going to agree with them. It doesn't mean you should change them to avoid a bad review. If you've outlined them correctly to start with, and you've given facts as to why you won't do blah, 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 or whatnot, that's all that you can do. So to me now, when I see negative reviews on a business, I always read the response, and most of the time I end up laughing about the person that did the bad review to start with. Not in every case. I'm not saying I laugh at people all the time, but definitely a lot of the time when I read these reviews, I go, is this person serious? And people are starting to do that. So this is just me saying I can completely relate to how you're feeling, but you have to let it go. And the bigger that you grow, the more haters you're going to get, the more bad reviews you're going to get, the more that you stand up for yourself, the more chance it's going to be that you're going to get a bad review. But at the end of the day, what's important is that you're not getting bullied into doing something that isn't fair and isn't right, and that you're also not allowing your team to feel that way either in order to prevent a bad review. So yeah, that's what I think the most important thing is, and just to push those positive reviews really with your customers and to show everyone who you really are, and not let it affect you so much, because it definitely can. Tell me if it's something that you relate with, and tell me how you respond to these reviews. And the other thing I did want to mention is I don't think that the system for reviews is right. I really feel like it should be a case of Google receives a review, and if it's a negative one, that the business has a chance to respond, and Google at the end of the day choose whether to post it or not. That's exactly how I feel that it should be. I mean, it's the same with disputes when it comes to PayPal or anything else. There is a middle person that's disputing it and deciding what is right. And at the end of the day, that definitely sounds more fair to me. It's not something that I can change. I can't go and tell Google to change how they handle reviews. But people are switching onto it, and people understand. And at the end of the day, all you can do is your best and stick to your policies and push your good reviews and respond to your bad ones in the most professional way that you can, and just give facts. Everything at the end of the day comes down to the facts. What happened, give as much factual information as you can. People will read that, they'll read the way that you respond, and at the end of the day, they can make that judgment on you and your business, and not just what the initial person wrote about you on Google. So if you liked listening to Banter with Baciami today, we have lots to talk about, and we want to talk about it openly. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Baciami Hair Extensions, and let us know what you want to talk about and what you relate with. Thanks, guys.